Hello YouTube. Just a quick look here at my scx10 honcho. Current work in progress, like they always are. Um, Here she is. Bought it as a ready to run kit. It's all pretty much stock electronics. Most of the stuff I've done to it is aesthetic here. So right off the bat, right when I got it, like everyone else, started ordering stuff. Starting with LEDs, which I just drilled holes in the body and mounted them with little plastic LED mounts. Lots of ways to do it, but since mine was already painted, that's the way I went about doing that. Little tow hooks here, if you would. Mirrors. Got ourselves a little driver there. It was very crudely mounted. He's pretty much glued onto the chassis there. Had to amputate his legs, unfortunately, in order to get him to fit. The way I have the battery set up, it's laid sideways across underneath the actual mount, just to keep the center of gravity low. Made him a little seat out of old gift cards that I have access to, used gift cards, empty ones from work. Currently there's a 9-volt battery running the LEDs. Usually I use a little RC helicopter small LiPo, but those are being used up in other projects. Had that lying around, so I mounted it. Stock bumper, stock tires, little extinguishers and tow hooks that I made with those shoelace, well, brand new shoelaces that I had lying around, and some S hooks bought at Home Depot, very cheap. Mirrors, like I mentioned. This roof rack here with the lights was, I think, like 12 or 13 bucks from Amazon or eBay shipped. Canoe here that had lying around. Got little sisters, they got lots of toys, so they weren't using that. They were nice enough to lend it to me, so I painted it. Let's see, a little shovel here, if you can see. Bought that at one of the hobbies, not a hobby shop, but like a Hobby Lobby, or I think might have been Michael's. Same thing with little tools here that I found. These I bought online, little gas canister. This trailer here, I'll go into really briefly. I made very simply, very cheaply, using aluminum angle. There's a few videos on the internet on how to make this. There's a lot of ways to go about it. Again, it's the way I did it, very cost effective. Used what's this called, threaded rod here to make the axles. Very rudimentary setup. Used hex nuts and lock washers to hold them in place as far as the axles, which are held onto the chassis same way, just lock nuts, washers. I did it very quickly, my first time trying. Didn't really think it all the way through, so the only problem is it works very well. Ground clearance is my only problem, but you know, it's more for aesthetics than anything. I had a little trouble getting these to stay in place without spinning loose, so I used a little bit of crazy glue, or you can use Loctite, whatever, and just spin it in, not all the way tight, but just enough so that it holds the wheel in place, just to keep it moving freely. To be honest, I didn't have a whole lot of tools to do this, so I used a Dremel, hooks that I bought at Home Depot here, usually used for like mounting frames and things like that. Again, I use a threaded rod to kind of make my own screws here. It's just threaded rod being held by a hex nut. Same thing on the other side. Cut it to length. But there she is. Kind of eyeballed a lot of the measurements. All you got to do is cut a 90-degree angle there, get it to bend. Let's see. The reason for this here, the red zip ties, are just, that bumper is the original bumper. It's plastic. It kind of flexes a lot. There's my tow hitch. Again, very easy to do, very